Howdy folks, how y'all doing? Cub here and welcome back to another episode of our Tekkit Legends Let's Play Adventure. We are now on Quarry 1.2, so we had 1.0, 1.1, and this is 1.2. It's just recently started and I've got some plans to fill in this hole here, courtesy of a pretty nifty device that someone pointed out to me. But we got a pretty full episode today. I just have some things I need to show you guys. First off, we'll start off with the bridge here. I added some structural supports because I thought it looked cool and it made it look neat. It's unnecessary, but it does look kind of neat. If we head inside, I've done a bit more work. And when I say a bit more, I mean I watched basically all of Netflix's Jessica Jones doing this work inside here. So if we just take a look back here, a lot of work was done. Not just here. I mean, I know this doesn't look like a Jessica Jones series worth of work back here, but there was quite a bit of work involved, with, especially with this room, just kind of clearing all this room out, getting our secret door out here to the secret garden that's not been touched, getting the staircases right and everything. To be honest, I'm super excited about all this. I'm really happy with the way it all turned out. Let's go ahead and I'll just give you a quick demo, show you what I've done, and then we will move on to what we're going to do this episode. I've moved our blast furnaces and our coke ovens into the new Railcraft room, and they're set up using the Buildcraft gates and some pipes here. I got gold pipes because they're really fast and cool. We're cooking up some coal and pumping them into our blast furnaces so we can get some more iron, or I should say steel. And when the steel's done, it automatically gets pulled out right here and sent to our chest upstairs. Well, it gets put into the general sorting system and then it gets sent to the chest. Now, I thought about hooking these up with our barrels and some charcoal, but then I remembered, you know what? When we get into some rails, we're going to need some coal coke anyway. And since I lost all the coal coke by moving these over here, I decided now would be a good time to go ahead and make some more. I've also built a couple of more boilers because we're gonna keep using boiler energy for a little bit longer. I know a lot of people have suggested we look into nuclear power and some of the big reactors, and we're totally gonna do that. I've got big plans for those things, but as of right now, there's some I feel like we really need to perfect steam energy before we can move on from it. So I built a couple more boilers. They're hooked up using some fluid teleporting pipes to our fluid or our steam converter in here, although to be honest, it's not really making the best use out of them. And the reason I did all this, I guess I should point out I also added back here some barrels, and they're synced up to all the other charcoal barrels. So we got that going for us. And these are, yeah, they're heating up. They're not fully heated yet, but they're going to get there. And what we're going to do today is we're going to build a tank. We're going to build one massive tank. One tank to hold all of our steam. And then, that way, instead of having to worry about, whenever we need to really speed things up, what happens? This thing runs out of steam. And we need more steam. And I had some tanks over here storing steam before, but getting the steam out of that and into the... it was too much effort, and I fiddled around with it a bit. I did some testing in my test world, and what I ultimately decided was that there's better ways of doing this. There's another tank. In fact, if we just look up in here, we'll just do steel tank. You don't have to build the steel tank. And in fact, let's just type in tank. You'll see that Railcraft has these iron tanks, which are pretty neat. This is the recipe, iron plates. We're going to go with the steel ones, though, because you can hold more using steel tanks. So it's a giant multi-block structure that is really awesome to behold. We're going to need some walls, some gauges, some valves. Now, I've got a list of how many of these things we need. Fortunately, when I was building those other boilers out there, I accidentally made, I say fortunately, it wasn't an accident, I accidentally made 64 steel tank walls. The reason being, if you look at the recipe for these, it's similar to the boiler tanks. The boiler tanks are one right on top of the other. At one point, I accidentally did 4, and it's 8, and then I got a whole stack of this nonsense. So that was an accident. We're going to need 24 more, though. We're not quite there yet. Also, we're going to have to build 168 steel tank gauges. I say that. We don't have to. We can build a different style of, we could just use the walls. We can use these steel tank walls, but I want to use the gauges because I like them. Also, we're going to need some tank valves. I'm not sure how many, but hopefully we have enough steam for all this. And if we run over here, I say steam, hopefully we have enough steel. We've got a stack and a bit, almost a stack and a half. And of course, they're still running down there, bringing us even more. You'll notice if we take a look in here, we've got quite a bit of EMC. Quite a bit. Not as much as we did have, though, because building right now is incredible. It's almost like building in creative, because I can fly, and I can have a destruction catalyst to just rip holes in things. Lots of fun. It does use up quite a bit of EMC, though, so there is a cost to it. Anyway, let's go ahead, and I guess all of this that we're going to build here today is going to require... Yep, it's all going to require the steel plates. So we'll go ahead and we'll put all of this in here, and it'll start working on our steel plates immediately. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and let those cook up. So that'll give us 4, which will give us 8 of these Right, we should have plenty. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else I've done that might be worth showing off. I added a couple of more barrels to hold some more items that we have an abundance of, although we're still getting a few things. Oh, it also picked up some bees. I don't know how. I guess there was just a beehive out there when I started the new tank. Kind of weird. You know what? While this is going, let's talk a little bit about the mini-sodes. I had someone comment that the mini-sodes reminded them a lot of the half episodes. Oh, we have a leak in the roof. Just disregard that. The budget problems. Half episodes were something I did during my Sky Factory series, and they were originally build episodes. So it was like, look, we did all this stuff last episode. Next episode, we're going to do all this stuff. In between, because I'm going to be doing this work anyway, I'll record it. And I enjoyed them. People also enjoyed them until I started making apparently too many of them. Now, here's what I find extremely amusing with those original... What is going on up here? Oh, no. Look at that. What are you doing? Just out of place, aren't you? Ugh. And that was in the world download. I'm embarrassed now. Anyway, what ultimately ended up happening was the half episodes ended up being just as long as the regular episodes and had just as much content in them, but because they were called half episodes, I don't know, I guess it's like a view into the mental psyche of the viewers. They complained. And it was weird because there was no reason to. They were just as long and had just as much content. And so I kept making them because I really like to bug people, especially for silly reasons, because let's face it, it's a silly reason to be upset. So I said we needed, I think, 88 of these, so that's 64 plus 24, so we got 8... Ooh, look at that. We got 8, 16, 24. All right, so that's all of those that we need. We'll pull the rest of these out. And we have some more. We should... Oh, man, we've almost got all of them. Yeah, keep going. Don't stop now. Don't stop rolling. It's a rolling machine. All right, now, I don't know if we're going to have enough for... Oh, geez. How many of these did I say we needed? 168. We're building the biggest tank we can. We don't have to. You can see you can build them at a height of 4 and a diameter of 3, and that's fine. That's probably all we're going to need, but I believe in going big or going home. And since I'm already home, I can't go home, so I have to go big. We're going to need a lot of these. Lots of those. And probably more now that I think... What? Just... Did I... Okay. Probably more now that I think about it. Do we have any more? Are they right in front of me? Is it one of those situations? Might be right in front of me. We'll never know. All right, let's get the recipe for these in here. Now, I'm sure you noticed you can add dyes and make them different colors, which could be cool, but we're not going to do that. We need to make a whole lot of these, so let's put all of these items up here. Get that recipe back in there. So we got 8, 16, 24, 32... Just get a stack. I think that it's going to be 2 stacks plus 40. And I'm not sure we're going to have enough. Does not look like we're going to have enough. We do not have enough. We're really close, though. We're super close. And in fact, we should have some more steel by now. It's all going in the background. The reason we're on a new quarry is because I left to go eat dinner with my family and forgot to turn off the game. So it just ran... And the quarry was finished. So there you go. That's the story. And it wasn't that exciting, was it? It was a very boring story. Alright, we got 12 of them. Is that going to be enough to turn the tide? Will we now have enough for this recipe? What are we up to? 24... Oh, wait, not these. 24, 32, 40. Boom. Set to go there. Now, the only other thing we're going to need is going to be our steel tank valve. Now, we're going to need several of these, and we don't quite have enough. Oh, man, it gives us 8. Hot dog. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so we're going to need a lever. We have just enough. How amazing is that? Some iron bars. We'll get a few too many because, you know, why not? Put that recipe in there. We'll get our 8 valves, and we are now completely out of steel. Although I can almost guarantee you we'll probably have maybe 2 or 3 more pieces in this chest by the time we come over here. 3, yeah. So there you go. So it does work pretty quickly. Ah! Fine, we'll take the stairs. The roof is broken and trying to eat me. So the way that this works is... Break this. What we're going to have to do is build a frame out of these. And you can build the entire tank out of these. That's fine. But we're going to build a frame. And it's going to be 9 by 9. So 9 by 9... There we go. Now, the maximum height here is going to be 8, so we already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome, and we'll drag it along over here. See? I can do maths well. You see how I got the maths right on that? Alright, now we need to fill in all of the walls with our gauges. Here's hoping we can actually use gauges on the bottom. I didn't check. I'm assuming. I could be absolutely wrong, but it's okay. Because by the time we're done with this, there will be plenty more gauges, or plenty more steel in the chest up there. So if it turns out we do need more of the walls, we can go grab some more. Ah, no! You know what, folks? I just realized I didn't make enough of this glass. Because when I did my original maths, I didn't take into consideration the fact that I would be doing the top and the bottom, as well as the sides. I just took into consideration the sides. So I might have to go build some more of these glass. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say right now I will, because I'm almost out. Fortunately, we should have some more... Yeah, go ahead and give me some more. There we go. We got 8 pieces. I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Make sure we have some of those waiting for us. Okay, I went ahead and made the walls because I decided there's really no reason to have the top and the bottom be glass. So we're just going to go ahead and use the steel tank walls. And I don't have enough here. I only got 16, and that's going to be enough for about 2 lines. Only, you know, assuming I don't mess it up. Oh no. This means we're going to actually have to wait for there to be more steel created, which could take a while. Ugh. There's really no way to speed these things up either. You know, unless we build more of them. That would require I punch out that wall and build more of them. I was kind of hoping I'd be missing some, but I'm guessing I'm not. But here's another 4 pieces to the cause. Go ahead and do that thing. You know what? While it's waiting, I suppose we could be somewhat productive here. We can go ahead and we can set up our tank valves up here if we want to. And if you want to put into the tank, I'm pretty sure you have to do it from some of the top layers. We're going to do it directly from the very top, though. And if you want to get it out of the tank, I think it has to be toward the bottom layers. I don't know if it has to be this bottom layer. Might have to be this one. But I know you can't take steam or liquid out of one of the top layers. Obviously, for obvious reasons. Okay, I've started running the obsidian fluid pipes into place where they're going to go. I haven't run them all the way down yet, but they are there and they're ready to go. So what's going to happen is I'm going to run these all the way down to the bottom, so they'll pick up steam probably out of one of these 2 lower blocks. I don't think you can pull steam out of the firebox. I think you actually have to pull it out of the boiler. So pull it out of the bottom of the boiler there, and we'll send it all the way up, and then we'll go in through the top here of the steel tank valves. And I've got 3 of them set up. We're going to be moving the other tank in here, our other boiler in here, once we got this all set up. We're going to end up putting another, I think probably right about here, we're going to put another valve, and we're going to hook up our steam link directly to that one. There we go. Look at that. Floor done. It's got a gauge in the middle of it for no reason, but now it's just this roof we got to deal with. I suppose we could make this thing smaller. Nah. I don't want to be that guy, but I guess I'll go ahead and say it. If we had just used iron, we could have just got all the iron out of the transmutation table and been done with this, and we'd be set to go. But that's what I like about Railcraft, right? So the base items, the things you need to get started, the coke oven bricks, the blast furnace bricks, they all have an EMC value, so you can build a whole bunch of them. But then the things that they make don't have an EMC. Oh, did you see that? I love to watch the coal go by. Watch it. He gets caught up in that gold and then it just starts to zoom. It's fantastic. But the items that they make do not have an EMC value. Therefore, you do actually have to have these giant rooms full of like ovens and stuff to... it's cool. I like it. Might just be me though. Alright, I've got nothing better to do. Let's just do some mining. Give me the emeralds! I see them! Stop trying to hide them! Thank you. Okay, brought some iron, lots of other stuff. Look at all these things I've brought for you to process. And then just a bunch of straight up EMC. Look at this. Productivity. 32. 32 is still not going to be enough. Oh no. You gotta be kidding me. Please, come on. I know this isn't going to work, but just some sort of magic. Oh, darn it. Ah! Go away, you nasty! Please. You're my last hope. I only need a few more. Please! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Boom! Look at our massive steel tank. Let's make sure we don't have any more spiders up here. I've made a little light, especially for the occasion. We'll just plop it down up here. Look at that. Lovely. I don't know why I chose to go with white lights on top of all these, but that's fine. So as you can see, this thing can hold, what is that, 2... Oh, geez, a lot of millibuckets. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that this, the Walia does not work. It does not give you an accurate number of how much of an item is inside of this tank. Also, this is bugging me. I can't have this. I've got an extra piece for this. There we go. Can't have a hole in the floor. It just looks dumb. Boom. Okay. Awesome, so we've got all this set up now. Unfortunately, it will not tell you the accurate number, but you can just kind of look in there and see how much steam there is. So let's go ahead and we'll hook this thing up. So I want it hooked up down here at the bottom. I don't really want it hooked up here going on the rest of the way. So it's going to start pouring in there. And as you can see, there's a bit in there. So Welia says that there's nothing in there. It just doesn't work for these for some reason. But trust me, there is steam going in there. Let's go ahead and hook up this other one as well. Excellent, excellent. It's all pouring out of there into our lovely, just huge tank over here. Now, is this ever going to be filled with steam? I doubt it. The amount of steam that these produce and the amount of steam that this thing can hold and the amount of power that we consume, it seems unlikely that this will ever get completely filled, but I'll be darned if I wouldn't like to believe that it's possible. Now, I think that actually... yeah, we could probably afford to put 2 tanks on these, or two outlets, maybe even 3, but for now I guess we'll just go with 1. They're not at peak production yet because of course we're only about halfway heated on both of these, and we're gonna have to move our other one in here, and I don't know if I want to do that now or... yeah, I decided we're gonna go ahead and do it now. And here's a fun tip for you guys. You can completely dismantle these. Like, you can take these tanks, or I should say these boilers, all the way apart. But as long as you leave the bottom middle brick, the tank itself will still be intact. So you can actually break this all the way down and then put it all the way back together. And as long as you don't mess with this one tank, everything will be fine. You mess with that one tank, though, and well, I guess you'll see what happens here in just a second. Clean up everything around it, and... boom. That's what kind of contains all of the information about the device itself. So it's all just gone spinning into the ether. It's no longer here. We'll go ahead and rebuild it over here, though. Okay, there we go. We got this one hooked up. Yep, it's filling up, and it's going to start outputting steam eventually as well. So we'll have 3 wonderful waterfalls of steam. This is going to take a little while, though, because it's got to completely... here, we'll go ahead and refill it up ourselves. How did we end up with all this extra? I don't know where this stuff came from. Let's just put it back in here, though. Awesome. Oh, wow, so as you can see, the level of steam has gone up noticeably. Again, Welia says, nah, there's nothing in there, but if you look at it visually... oh, no. No, where did you even come from? Oh, I forgot to put a light on top of that new one. Go away. Just go away. Good grief. Yeah, I bet you we got monsters spawning on top of that. You gotta be careful down here in the underground. Things happen. We should probably pick up another fixture. Do. There we go, problem solved. Look at this. Oh, this is incredible. Alrighty, time to move all of our energy creation over there. Now, of course, we're gonna have, here in just a second, a very tragic moment. There we go, get all these collected. Where we will have to move our modular socket and our MFE and lose all the power stored in both of those devices. But for right now, we're not gonna think about that tragic moment. We're just gonna go ahead and get steam production up and going. Let's see, do we have everything? We've got our... universal charger, our energy bridge, our steam consumer. We're gonna need our producers. Oh, they're up here. Right. Boy, these things take a lot longer to start producing steam than I remember. It's getting there, though. Let's see, at what temperature does water become steam in Celsius? It's like 40 degrees Celsius? No. It's hotter than that. I don't know. I know that water freezes at 0 Celsius, which is one of the reasons that it's superior to Fahrenheit, because at Fahrenheit it's like 32, like... who came up with that? Who made that decision? At what temperature does water freeze? 32! So shouldn't it be 0? No. Okay then. Weird decision, but I didn't make it, so I'm not bound to explain it to people. We've got our steam consumer there. We'll attach our energy bridge. Yep, it says that we have no steam in. That's fine, because it's not putting out any energy. I think we actually have to connect our 2 producers. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw MV over here. Okay, this is interesting. It still says steam in 0. Even though it is connected to our gauge. Or to our... have I done this correctly? I might have been doing this wrong. We've got a valve. The valve should output automatically, right? Right? We're going on a fun adventure underneath this darn thing. What happens if I put this in the bottom? Does this become a giant? Yeah, it becomes a tank again. Okay, and then what if I put my steam consumer, which is right here on the bottom, and then I connect that to our energy bridge, which is right here. There we go! That's the problem. Alright, so I'm supposing that this thing... yeah, okay. I'm about to make a guess, a vaguely educated guess, that because this stuff is not on, like, it's at level with this valve. It's not like on top of this valve, therefore it's not draining out of this valve. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody watching? Are we all in agreement that that's what's happening here? I'm gonna go ahead and say that's exactly what's happening here, which means that now all this is down here underneath. Oh no, that's gonna make things difficult, isn't it? Okay, how am I supposed to? All right, well, we're just gonna have to work around this. Steam input is at 1,000 millibuckets per tick. We're putting out a lot of RF. We're not putting out any EU. I'm not sure if there's a way to, like, prioritize one type of energy out of the other. But we are getting 2 high-pressure boiler tanks worth of items. Oh, cool. Yeah, we're maintaining our... Oh, geez. Oh, everything locked up there for a second. Once this opens up and starts... What are you at now? 90? We're going to see what happens when it hits 100. 100 degrees! I repeat, 100 degrees! And it's still not outputting. Oh, yes, it is. There you go. I mean, it's not outputting yet. It's starting to get steam. I don't think it'll output steam until it gets about halfway full. At least that's in my previous experience. So these are maintaining well. That's good. Boom. All right. I've multiplied the amount of steam outtake each machine has. This one here isn't outtaking any steam at all. I'll fix that problem right away. There we go. So we should be taking in from each of this one's going to be a little bit slower. It's going to be hard on the upkeep because it's not hot enough to produce enough to maintain 2. This one here is doing just fine. This one here is outputting 3 and it's just fine. So we might need to update the other 2. Now remember, we had the steam consumer hooked up directly to one of these and is taking out 1,000, but anytime we actually cranked it up to do that, it was too much. So I'm not really sure what the limit is. I guess we're just gonna have to keep on experimenting. Okay, so once all of these are producing at full speed, that'll be 900 millibuckets of steam we're pumping into this tank. Alright, so we got frequency 1, 2, and 3 flowing again, so we got the quarry going, the machines upstairs, and then your lasers, but we're not using lasers right now. We'll keep it low, try to give this thing time to fill up. How are we doing? We're maintaining 1,000 millibuckets of steam. Now, the only concern here is that we're not actually taking in 1,000 millibuckets of steam. We're taking in, I think, 900? So we're taking in 900, we're consuming 1,000. This is going to start going down, but there's so much in there already. I'm not too concerned about it. These are maintaining this well. We could probably step this up a bit and pump even more steam over there. How much steam can be moved using a fluid teleport pipe? Like, how much steam is actually moved doing that? Could we just set up a series? Like, I like using these pipes here, but is it really necessary if we could just set up, like, a bunch of teleporting pipes? I'm not sure how much... Can this actually move 100 millibuckets per tick? I don't know. I really don't know. Alright, I'm back from the wiki, and I just found out that teleporting pipes, the fluid teleporting pipes, output 220 millibuckets per tick. So we'd actually be better off using these, and in fact, that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so I cleaned up all that mess with our obsidian pipes, which looked cool, for a much more effective... Oh wow, this is... So just one of these is enough to cause these guys some serious trouble. Yeah, this one's already empty. This one's getting there. But we are moving much more fluid. We're doing it much quicker and much tidier. We don't have a whole bunch of pipes laying all over the place. If we head down here, we should... I mean, we're definitely still going to be using 1,000 millibuckets. There's no reason to even come down here and check. We know we're going to be because we have the excess in here. As you see, it's almost half a block full of stuff. So it's going to be using the maximum until it's done or it runs out of reserve. So I don't even know why I keep going down there to check. That's full though. That's filling up. It's outputting power. Now I just need to get power from the MFE here to our machines. Okay, folks. Instead of running these glass fiber cables all the way from over there to over here, we're just gonna do some power teleporting. Okay, so we're gonna put our power teleporting pipe here. We're gonna set it to frequency 4 and receive. That's gonna go into another RF consumer, energy bridge. We've got our MV producer here, and then on top. Boom. MFE. MFE will start filling up. So this is just magically teleporting some RF. It's getting thrown through the energy bridge, converted into... Yeah, there we go. It's perfect. It's exactly what we want. And then that way, instead of having just this massive cable... Whoa! I might have been wrong. We might actually fill this thing up. I thought that this thing would just hold so much steam, it would be impossible. But if we just add down here right now, this is going to be the only... real problem that we have right now is that this thing can only move so much RF per tick, and I'm not sure. Let's check Emerald real fast. Emerald. power teleporting pipe can only move 2,560 RF per tick, meaning that we might need to make a second output because, of course, we can crank 2 of these up and they'll be equal to the max output of this thing, but then these 2 down here won't get any juice, so we might need to create another output, maybe on the side. I'll worry about it off camera. This has been going... I've been recording this. I don't know how long this episode's going to end up, but I've been recording for an hour and a half now. This will probably end up being a 20-minute video. I feel like maybe I should just break out the wrench. We'll go ahead and we'll speed up our quarry a bit, and then we'll go ahead and we'll just give this a... This is the quarry, right? Frequency... It doesn't show any energy going through there. Let's go see if the quarry's ramped up any. We'll go ahead and we'll just walk through what we've done. We've created a massive tank. We've connected our 3 high-pressure boilers with our fluid teleporting pipes up to it. We are not maintaining, we're not producing enough blocks of charcoal to keep up with demand because, of course, our quarry is still at the surface. Of course, once we get Quarry 2.0 going, and then we actually build nuclear reactors, none of this is going to matter anyway. And once these get hot, I don't think they use as much coal to stay hot, but look at all that steam we've got in there. I'm going to go make sure the quarry is functioning because it doesn't appear like it's getting any power. Quarry is, of course, functioning. Is it on frequency 1? It doesn't look like it's going all that fast. Let's see what frequency it's on. Frequency 2. Quarry power. You're now on frequency 1. Congratulations. Yeah. Burn. Look at this thing go. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And of course, it's full of monsters too. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This was not actually planned when I started working on things that I wanted to do for the month of December. This was not one of the original plans. I just so happened to find tank in the items that I was looking through, and I thought, hey, that looks kind of cool. And then I built this big old room here to move all of our buildcraft stuff, or no, buildcraft, all our Railcraft stuff into, and we had this hole at the side that was empty, and I was like, well, I guess we'll do this. And look at this. It's incredible. We have more than enough energy to spare now. It's nuts when you think about it. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Alrighty, folks. I originally ended the episode, but then I came back down here and did a little bit more work. So I thought, you know what? We should probably just go ahead and demo this, and that way we won't have to worry about it at the start of the next episode. So everything up here is pretty much the same, except I did move everything underground into our little chamber here. And if we head down here, you'll see that I've made quite a few changes. So we now have 2 steam consumers hooked up. The energy bridge is kind of in between them. We've got our RF producer here on the front. If we click on it, you'll see we're getting in 2,000 millibuckets of steam per tick, and we're outputting 1.8 kilo RF per tick. Kilo RF per tick? 1,000 RF per tick, I believe it is. 1.8 thousand. That's going into our modular socket, which is currently filling up. It's got 4 of these super energy expansion units on it, so once it's full, we'll be good to go there. And it's filling up even though it has straight up emerald outputting pipes to everything, right? Like, it's just straight up emerald out to power. We're not in any way trying to throttle it, so it's still gaining power, even though it's also outputting a heck of a lot of power to our quarry. Nothing else is really getting that much energy, I don't think. I think I've got everything hooked up to the right frequency, though, I believe. Now that I think about it, the processing unit doesn't look like it's getting any juice at all. Are you set up on the right? Yeah, receive on frequency 2. They don't look like they're doing anything. If we head around to the front, though, we'll know for sure. If we just come around here and look at them. No, they're all out of power. Excellent. Need to fix that. Send power on frequency 2, please. Thank you very much. That was... Are you 2 set up? Yeah. You 2 are set up correctly. Now, as far as steam goes, we're currently burning more steam than we're taking in. That is, of course, is going to be the case until it's finished filling up our reserve down there. These will produce a little bit more steam as they continue to get warmer. Our current situation, it looks like coal blocks are still fluctuating, but going in a downward trajectory, which is going to be the case until the quarry gets a little bit deeper and starts picking up some more ores. Now that it's moving so fast, though, and I mean, let me just go ahead and demo how fast this quarry is moving. Look at that. Completely unthrottled. It's just ridiculous. I'd say another 20 layers, it's going to start picking up the big payday stuff, and we'll have more than enough EMC. We won't have to worry about coal blocks. But that pretty much does it for this episode. I'm going to go ahead and end it again and say that this time it's officially done. We've got our tank, we've got our advanced energy, and that's going to get us through Nether Base. Once we get Nether Base up and running in Quarry 2.0, we'll start working, I think, on nuclear energy and big reactors and things, so we won't have to worry about using steam anymore. I just thought it was fun, and I thought it would be a fun experiment, and it has been. I've enjoyed it, and I hope you folks have too. Alrighty, I'll see you all next time. Bye! Howdy, folks. How are y'all doing? This is Reese, or Brush It Cub, and welcome to what is the first official episode of our Hexit Let's Play Adventure. Now, I've already made a couple of videos in Hexit,